What's up, you guys? It's Sarah at carnivore.yogi on Instagram. Thank you so much for coming back to my YouTube channel and clicking on today's video. In this video, I'm going to take you through my electrolyte routine and my supplement routine. Now, this is something that has changed since I did a video a couple months ago. I changed some things because I had some conversations with Morley Robbins, who I will link below this video. And he and I are actually going to go over my blood test and my hair mineral analysis test in a couple of weeks, and I will definitely share that video with you guys. But I have changed some things just because of my conversations with him. So as I say in every video, I am not a doctor, expert nutritionist. Don't copy me and expect my same results. We're all so different. I'm definitely not telling you what to do. I'm really just sharing my journey with you guys. So I hope that makes a lot of sense. If you do exactly what I do, you may not have my exact same results because we're two different people. We have different health histories, etc., etc. So please take all of this that I'm telling you guys just as me telling you what I'm doing, not as like a prescription for you to go out and do the exact same thing. Okay, so I think that's enough disclaimers for this video. So let's go ahead and start with my electrolyte routine. Now I do take, and I will link the stuff below, I'll link it, and it will be Amazon affiliate links, so you're welcome just to go on Amazon and not use my links, but if you want to support me, you can use these links and I'll make a small commission at no cost to you, but I just want to disclose that. So this is the magnesium that I use. We buy a big container of it. I've been using this since before I was even carnivore. Magnesium glycinate. I will link this one below. I take 2 capsules, and it is 180 capsules per container, 120 milligram of magnesium glycinate per capsule. So 2 in the AM, 2 in the PM. If I am having a really stressful week, I will actually take 2 also at lunch, because when we're stressed out, our bodies lose minerals, and hello, it's 2020. So if I need to up that magnesium, I absolutely do it. You can also use magnesium spray. I also take Epsom salt baths at least 3 times a week. I soak in the tub with 2 cups of Epsom salt. Very relaxing. Some people say it does not do anything to your magnesium levels. For me, I just feel a lot more relaxed, so I do it. I don't know the scientific effect that it has on my body, other than I sleep better and I feel better. So that's the magnesium. I also supplement with potassium citrate. Now, I will link this particular brand below. I take 2 capsules in the AM and 2 capsules in the PM. Now, there are people that will actually mix their potassium into a drink and drink that in the morning and the evening. I just find it easier to take the capsules. I do have some potassium citrate, some powdered in the house, because I was like, let me try this powdered drink thing and see how it affects me. I haven't dove into that just yet, so perhaps the next time I make a video like this, I will have tried that. But for now, this is just what I do for my potassium. I did not supplement with any potassium for my first year of carnivore, and some people can do that. Some people don't supplement at all on carnivore, and they do great. So I should have disclosed that in the very beginning. If you're doing carnivore, I think you need to pay attention to your body. You may not need any supplements, or you may need to add some supplements. As I mentioned with the potassium, I didn't do any potassium for the first year of carnivore, and some side effects that I had with no potassium was that I would just randomly swell. I have a lot of pictures of myself from last year, and it was more so in the fall. So the further I got into carnivore, and I was also doing a decent amount of fasting along with this, which will actually cause your body to lose more minerals, I would just get a swollen face. I would get a swollen legs. I started getting heart palpitations and leg cramps. So those are just a few symptoms of potassium deficiency. There are more, but if you're having face twitches, eye twitches, muscle twitches, you may have a potassium deficiency. Now, back when I was a kid, I remember getting leg cramps, and everyone would always say, eat a banana, because of the potassium in the banana, right? And I'd eat banana and I'd feel better, but you can actually get more potassium from eating something like an avocado than you can a banana. I was eating avocados for a little bit. I decided to drop back down to strict carnivore and do no avocados. I may change that in the future. If I do, I'll let you know, but I've been doing no avocados for the last like 3 months. So I'm doing the potassium citrate. The other way I get my potassium in, this is a whole food, real food, is meat broth. I make my own meat broth. This is actually chicken broth. So I cooked a whole chicken in the Instant Pot. I only cooked it for 2 hours, and I took the chicken out and I just saved the broth. I keep it in the fridge. If you have histamine issues, you might want to freeze that broth, keep it in silicone containers, but I'm really good on my histamine issues, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a minute here. I've gotten my histamines to a really good place, but I do drink at least 1 cup of meat broth per day. The other thing that I do supplement with is a good salt. I'm currently obsessed with this really coarse Celtic sea salt, which I'll link below. And honestly, I eat 3 meals a day, which is not typical for most carnivores. Most carnivores usually do like 2 meals a day. I did 2 meals a day for a really long time. I just like to eat 3 meals a day. I feel better. It causes me less stress. Sorry for the siren. Welcome to outdoor filming. But I probably put about 1 teaspoon of salt on breakfast, 1 for lunch, 1 for dinner. And if I'm like snacky in between meals or kind of hungry, which doesn't usually happen, but if it does happen, I'll just go in the cabinet and literally pick some of this out, put it underneath my tongue. I also put a little bit in my meat broth. Again, I have at least 1 cup of meat broth per day, sometimes 2, just depending on the day and how I'm feeling. But that meat broth, if you're using a really lean meat, especially like a chicken or a really lean meat, is a good source of potassium. The other supplement that I have just started that's new is, again, because of Morley Robbins. This is not on Amazon, but I will put the link below. This is a Whole Foods vitamin C supplement. It does have a little potassium and a little sodium in it as well, but it's mostly for adrenals. Now, when he did my blood test and hair test, he did tell me, go ahead and start the real Whole Foods vitamin C supplement. So this is not a carnivore thing or even a keto thing. This is a Morley Robbins thing that I'm trying. So I have this container, and it comes with these packets. I'll link it below, no affiliation at all, but it's Adrenal Cocktail Vitamin C. I have 1 with my water mid-morning and then 1 mid-afternoon. And that is just something that he told me to do after looking at my blood work and my hair test. So that may not be something that you need to do or even worry about, look at, think about, but it is something that I have been doing. And I do notice that I'm getting better sleep, more restful sleep since adding in this vitamin C. The other things that I do, that this is non-negotiable for me now, and it wasn't for the first year that I did carnivore, but I've loved these. And again, no affiliation, no affiliate program, anything like that. These are pricey, but I really do not like liver, don't like liver, and I really like these. These are really tasty. Now, when I first got them, I was like, oh, it still tastes a lot like liver, but now they're just like crunchy, delicious chips. I usually eat about 1 ounce of these for breakfast. I'm doing it every single day, or at least 5 days a week right now. I might back that down. This is another thing that I started doing after talking to Morley, because I was low in copper, and that could have also been why I was having a lot of histamine issues. But I do think if you're, and this is just my personal opinion, there are a lot of people who disagree and who've been carnivore for a long time. They don't eat any organ meats. I feel a lot better. I have more energy. I sleep better eating this liver every day. So it's just something that I do. I buy the crisps. They are pricey. You could just buy regular grass-fed beef liver from a place like White Oak Pastures, very nice, reputable source, and have a little bit of this, you know, few ounces a week and get your nutrient needs met. But again, this is something that I just do. I feel a lot better with it. And if you watch when Morley and I go over my hair and blood test, he again told me, you got to start eating liver like every day. I know you're doing it a couple times a week, but I want you to start doing it every day. So I'm like, okay, he's the mineral guy. I trust him. I'm willing to do this. The other thing that I do at least 3 or 4 times a week is a tablespoon of this stuff, salmon roe. I know that there are some people out there that say PUFA is bad stuff, no bueno. I also, again, feel better. I have less inflammation just doing 1 tablespoon of this stuff per day. I buy it at my local Whole Foods. That's the only place I know to get it. I know there's some places online you can order salmon roe from. But again, this is just one of those things that if I keep it in my diet regularly, I do feel better and more optimal. So that is that one. Now, this is something that I do when I'm having a lot of stress. This PS 100, I will have this stuff before bed. It really does help to cut your cortisol. So on top of the magnesium, which is immensely helpful for stress, I do these on occasion. It's when I'm having a really stressful week, or if I've had a little trouble sleeping. It really just cuts that cortisol down. So if cortisol is an issue for you, I would strongly recommend the PS 100s. And also the adrenal support, again, if you're having issues with cortisol. I did not get this stuff from doing carnivore. Some people will say doing keto or carnivore will cause more adrenal and cortisol issues. I think if you're chronically fasting and chronically restricting your calories, your total calories, that will cause a cortisol or adrenal issue. For me, as long as I eat my meals regularly, I don't do a ton of fasting, it's not causing the adrenal cortisol issues. What's causing the adrenal cortisol issues is the fact that I had that pre-existing. I have a lot of chronic stress in my life, and hello, it's 2020. My life has been kind of turned upside down, which I'll probably talk about in another video. Won't get into that into depth, but you know, I'm not blaming the way that I'm eating for cortisol, adrenal issues. I think it's more just chronic life stress, and it was something I had pre-existing going into carnivore, so it's something I've had to really be mindful of. So if you're an adrenal person, if you've cut cortisol stuff, those are some things that could help you. I don't know, I'm not a doctor, nutritionist, any of that stuff, but this is just what I'm doing, and I do notice a difference. It does help me. The other thing, now, I mentioned this a few videos ago that I had done a test with Thrive. I actually just this morning got my results back, a gut microbiome test. And I'll flash up on the screen. I don't remember the exact numbers. I think it said I had a 92% healthy gut. Like, okay, whatever that means. Interesting, after really just being on a carnivore diet for this long. But then it said I had an area where I needed some improvement. It was like a score of 62%. Again, I'll flash that up here on the screen because I can't remember it off the top of my head. But Thrive, oh sorry, there's a little piece of bacon on this box. Carnivore problems, has offered to make probiotics for me based on my personal gut sample. So I actually am placing an order today for them to make those personal probiotic samples for me. I'm gonna try that out for 90 days. I mean, I don't see what the harm in it is gonna be to try that out. Some people say if you're doing carnivore, be really careful with what supplements that you add, and I absolutely do agree with that. I think that once you go down to such an elimination diet that your body is gonna be way more sensitive. I actually dumped a ton of supplements. I was on like 15 different things, and I've since dumped them. I haven't needed them anymore since going carnivore because my body is getting so much adequate nutrition. So something else I've changed since my last video, I'm not doing as much of the ancestral supplements. I was taking liver, I was taking thymus, I was taking kidney for my histamine issues. I'm actually taking a little break from those because, as I mentioned, my histamine issues have been doing amazing. And I think that if you keep taking something, your body eventually becomes dependent on it, and it's not necessarily a good thing. This is just my theory. Again, not a doctor, nutritionist, any of that stuff. You guys know the drill. But I've stopped taking as much of that stuff. My daughter is still taking that stuff, but I eat thymus or sweetbreads, which is the thymus in the pancreas gland. I still eat that once or twice a week. Actually, I really do enjoy the taste of thymus. If you follow me over on Instagram, you hear me talk about this all the time, but it does help to naturally boost your DAO enzyme in your body so that you're able to deal with histamines a bit better. But since I have been really on a protocol to heal my histamine, I've seen a ton of improvement. And I think that adding in that daily liver has also been really helpful to boost my body's copper, because if you have low copper, you're not going to be able to absorb magnesium, you're not going to be able to absorb a lot of stuff you're going to have issues. So I think adding in that daily liver has made such a huge difference for me. I've seen a major improvement in my histamine symptoms. So I'm not really taking all those ancestral supplements like I was in my previous video. I'm also not taking vitamin D3 and K2 anymore, again on Morley's advice. You can go ahead and watch the videos that he and I did, linked underneath this video, for more information on why I don't do D3 anymore. And when you look at my blood test results, again, we're going to do this video in a couple weeks, my D3 levels, he actually said, are really high. they're where I feel comfortable, honestly. I don't go 100% with one person and what they say. I will take what people say with a grain of salt and apply it and see how I feel. So functional medicine doctors saying my D3 levels need to be at a certain place, Morley saying they need to be at another place. I'm kind of just seeing where I feel the best, where my immune system is functioning properly, all that stuff. So, you know, take what you will out of this video. Again, don't copy me and expect my exact same results. But this is what I'm doing right now, you know, middle of October 2020. This will probably change again as it does, and when it does, I will do another video to update you guys on that. But for now, this is what I'm taking, this is what I'm doing. I'll keep updating you guys on my progress. I hope that this was super helpful, and I will catch you in the next video.